Greetings, upstanders. Dr. O here. And when I think about this NBA scandal and the investigation and the gambling and all of that, look, if people got the goods on these guys and they're involved in this stuff, let the law take it wherever it's gonna go. But I don't, there's no cut card as it relates to that. If they're doing something that's illegal, let it be. Having said that, I do not trust this FBI. I do not trust Cash Patel. I do not trust Pam Bondi. And when I say I don't trust them, I don't mean I'm saying I don't trust them in the sense that I think they're making this stuff up, because I do believe that there is a there. But I'm very skeptical about the timing of it. This is being announced at the same time that Virginia Giuffre's book is coming out. And she was, one of Epstein's victims and she committed suicide. And she was taken by Jeffrey Epstein while she was a child working at Mar-a-Lago with Trump. And I haven't looked at her book yet, but those who have looked at it said when you read it, she doesn't apparently mention a lot of there's some names that are mentioned, but there are other names that aren't mentioned, but things are described. And from what I hear, if you read this, you will know who these people are. You will clearly know who those people are. And people have been talking about this book coming out for months, and now it's here, and boom, we get this NBA investigation being announced publicly, indictments being unsealed, and the like. And I do believe that the way that it's being announced is part of the distraction. That's one part. The other part is that, Trump has beef with the NBA. The NBA, out of the top four major sports leagues, is the one league that has probably critiqued him the most in terms of players and coaches. I'm thinking about people like LeBron James, the first time Trump ran, then obviously not endorsing, Kamala and all of that, him endorsing Kamala as well, which I believe he did. And then I'm thinking of coaches like Steve Kerr and Doc Rivers, Popovich, formerly with the Spurs, who's retired, who are very critical about Trump. Even up until as recently as last week or the week before with Doc Rivers. And I believe that they're going to target them more than the other ones. And again, this isn't to say that Billups and Rozier and all of them have no culpability. I'm not here to defend them in any way, shape, or form. Let's make that clear. But, my brothers and I were talking, on our chats, and it's like there's probably some way that he's trying to get to LeBron James in some way, shape, or form, just to maybe at the very least have him arrested. I wouldn't put it past Trump at all. I think it's one of these stories where Damon Jones or Rozier, I forget, found out that LeBron wasn't going to play and put that out there to their gambling people or something. And so guys bet on that, right? And then some people are going to say, was LeBron in on it? Did he sit that night? Anyway. Another thing I've noticed is that people are talking about this being the entire NBA, and it's not. I know there have been a couple of other people, Porter, some other folks as well, who were, implicated in things and banned for life. And again, it's an issue. But one of the things that I haven't seen is I haven't seen any names of the mob bosses or the mob people being published. I haven't read every document, but I haven't heard any names. I only hear NBA players' names. And I find myself wondering, what's that about? What's that about? And so I have no thought in terms of thinking that this administration would not intentionally target this league, intentionally put more attention on them. Quite honestly, I'm surprised that these guys weren't arrested during the games, just because of the types of spectacles that Trump likes to see. But really, at the end of the day, I feel like the timing of this is really the issue. And I feel like the timing of this is to take attention away from Virginia Giuffre's book. May she forever rest in peace and power. And as people talk more about this NBA thing, more attention needs to be put on Epstein and this book. It can't be shied away from. It can't be shied away from. And so I hope that the news media and the outlets I'm listening to, I'm watching last night, some of my shows that I watch regularly or listen to regularly are spending a good 10, 20, minutes on this NBA story, which is not really part of what their shows are about, right? So again, needs to be talked about. It's a major breaking news story. There's no doubt about it. but let's not take attention away from what's happening with Epstein. And that's what I believe, and his victims. And that's what I believe the timing of the announcement of this investigation is about. And I think people need to stop talking about this black eye on the NBA and so on and so forth. It is a problem. There are hundreds of players in the NBA and many coaches, 30 something coaches. I don't think they're all involved on it. I feel like anybody who is involved needs to be found, caught, prosecuted. There also needs to be a conversation about all of these gambling apps, FanDuel and whatever these things are. People can bet right in the game, who is right literally in live time, like real time, if someone's going to make a free throw, if they're going to miss, if they're going to get a rebound, or baseball, are they going to throw a strike? Are they, World Series starting, this weekend as well? Are they going to throw a strike? Is it going to be a ball? Is it going to be whatever? Like the fact that people can do that in real time, and then I hear all of this, right after I heard the segment this morning about the gambling, goes to commercial, and the commercials about, FanDuel and these other, and DraftKings and these other betting apps. And then after they have the betting app commercials, they'll say, and call this number if you have a problem. Like, for real? So can we have, there also needs to have a conversation also needs to be had about how easy it's being made for everybody to be able to get involved in gambling. Doesn't excuse these guys, but I'm saying it's so much easier. And so where's the line drawn in terms of you being able to, gamble on something in real time in a game versus what somebody does in a poker game or this or that. And again, I'm no expert there. Let people be prosecuted. But my point is that it's creeping up. And it's becoming easier for everybody to get involved in this. And I think that's also more problematic. And the FBI and the Justice Department and other folks need to be paying attention to that too. But right now, we got the easy target in these NBA players and former NBA players, or player, I should say, in Chauncey Billups, and like 2 gut players in the league right now. Maybe more coming, I don't know. But there's bigger problems here that needs to be talked about. And at the end of the day, none of this should take away in the news from Epstein. Let me know what y'all think. Hit that like, subscribe. Let's get to 25,000 subscribers. All right, y'all? Take care. Peace.